Friday morning. Remember, wear red for everyone deployed. They all come home. So I hope everybody's doing well this day as we get ready to step into the weekend. Oh, here in North Carolina, we're supposed to have some much cooler weather tomorrow and Sunday. I think the low for tomorrow morning here is going to be like 48. Can't wait. Anyway, that's for you, Brother Kyle. Hope you're doing well, my friend. What should we clamor about today? The ineffectiveness of our government, our open borders, the fentanyl and drug problem coming across the border. Oh, I'll be a black coyote showing up in the middle of the morning. Go figure. Like I said, folks, what should we clamor about today? Well, I really don't know. Let's talk about open borders. The fact that, Kooky Kamala supposedly went down there and fixed it and basically come back and said there was no problem at the border. But yet, thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants, you take that undocumented person's crap and shove it up your fourth point of contact. Undocumented, I don't want to get too vulgar. But illegal immigrants flowing across the border like dadgum water out the tap. So much so that the people in New York City and Chicago are at their wits' end. Unless you go to the richer neighborhoods of those cities and they're like, well, there's empty hotel buildings they can put them up in. So they're suggesting using other people's property other than their own to house these people. Why? Because it doesn't affect them. It'd be a different story if the city government showed up at their doorstep and said, hey, you got to house these 10 people. So that's the beauty of and hypocrisy of liberalism. It's all fun and games so long as they've got no skin in the game. And they don't care who the burden is put on so long as the burden is not put on them. All of a sudden it becomes the government's problem when the burden is placed on them. Let that sink in for a minute. Watching some snippets this morning. And these two dudes were being interviewed. One guy's like, yeah, we should just give them houses when they come over. Okay, jackwagon, who the hell's going to pay for it? Are you planning to pay for a house for them? If that's the case, by all means. The other guy suggested that, put them up in hotels that aren't using all their space. Okay. At the end of the day, the one thing that both those bozos forgot about, somebody owns those properties. Somebody has worked hard to pay for that. Somebody's livelihood depends on it. And if you arbitrarily just put people in there, they lose out on their livelihood. Or you're going in and taking something as a government entity that rightfully belongs to a private citizen. And it reminds me of something that dumbass mayor in New York said this summer, encouraging people or begging people in the city of New York to help take in some of the homeless migrants off the street. Why should they? They didn't ask for those people to come up there. And New York City's finally opened their eyes to the problem that's going on down in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. They're finally starting to understand what the people in the border states go through every freaking day. Seeing resources going to people that don't pay no dadgum taxes. So it irks me when I hear things like I heard this morning in another clip I was watching about how people that have earned all this money should just give so much of this money to these illegal immigrants coming across, because all they're wanting to do is make money like them. Well, I guarantee you the majority of those people that earn that money, nobody gave them anything except maybe an opportunity. Mind you, there were some that were probably given an inheritance or a portion of a family business. But guess what? You got to still know how to run it, to maintain it, to ensure that it perpetuates itself. That's no easy task. When the economy changes, okay, when the economy tanks, you've got to keep that business going. I'll be the first one to admit there's a lot of evil rich people out in this world. Most of them are called politicians. Love to spend somebody else's money but their own. And you know you're always in good company with Democrats and liberals when it comes time to pay a bill and leave a tip. They seem to think that servers really only get $1 or $2 in the way of a tip. Yeah. So they think that restaurant should pay them minimum wage. Okay, well, if the restaurant chooses to pay them minimum wage, don't complain when the prices increase on the food. It's one of those things, they want their cake and eat it too. They want manageable prices at restaurants, and yet they don't want to leave a tip for the servers, the bus boys, or bussers as they call them now. My day with bus boys. Don't give a crap. They ain't politically correct. Just like I wasn't a bagger, I was a bag boy at the grocery store. Yes, we had a girl that bagged. We called her a bag girl. And if that offends somebody, will kiss my big toe. But that's what you get with liberalism. It's hypocrisy. And if this nation tanks and goes communist, they're going to be the first ones crying that they pay their fair share. Communism don't care who pays what. At that point in time, the government's going to start taking what they want. At that point in time, they'll start crying foul. And friend, let me tell you what, it's too late then. It's too late. But liberals don't care. They don't care at all. As long as it doesn't affect their little world. And then, yeah, I might as well go there. I'm in a mood. Then let's flip the opposite ends of, well, not the opposite end of liberalism, but let's look at another aspect of liberal policy, and that's called the ghetto or the hood. Probably gonna make some people mad with this one. I don't care. We have developed an attitude where those without deem that it's all right to take from those that have. You heard that right. They deem that it's right to take from those that have so that they can have theirs. And they think they should be able to do so without consequence. Kind of like the big fat lady that just got arrested at a Walmart, and I forget where it was at. Hollering, Walmart's racist, Walmart's racist. Well, she assaulted a cop, for one, and she was shoplifted for another. I don't care where you're from, shoplifting is a crime. And then when she's getting arrested, they all of a sudden Walmart's racist. Okay. Them folks out in California, they don't care, you know. They come in, rob the CVS, the Walgreens. It's standard practice now. I say the people of California don't care. They actually do. There's a lot of good people out in California that would love to see things change. But the way the voting demographics are, the big cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, Sacramento control what happens in the entirety of the state. The reality is that Northern California needs to break away, and all the red counties in California need to break away and form a separate state. Now, will that happen? Probably not. Probably not. The U.S. federal government doesn't want that to happen because it would divide unequally, in their opinion, the power fight in Washington. But they're okay with, adding Puerto Rico as a state in order to get that. They think that's perfectly fine. They're also perfectly fine with illegal immigrants voting. They're perfectly fine with illegal immigrants becoming police officers in certain municipalities. I'm sorry, that's unconstitutional. Illegal citizens have no right to serve in law enforcement in this country. Sorry, period.com. They have no right to have a say-so in our elections. Period.com. And anybody that believes so needs to pack your crap up and move your ass to Cuba or China or North Korea. Get up and get out. You don't need to be here. And then let's talk about our northern cousins in Canada and the crap they're going through. They've got a dictator, Castro's bastard son, running amok up there, just arbitrarily issuing directives. The difference being is Canada does not have a constitution like we do. Their rights are not as guaranteed as ours, in the sense that the prime minister has more power than the president in their parliament. And I don't know how all that crap works up there. Okay, they're a dominion of the British Empire, or former British Empire. They're a sovereign country in their own right, but their head of state and foreign affairs still the king, the crown. Don't get me into how all that works. But Communist Trudeau basically, it was last year, issued a decree, an edict, whatever you want to call it, that basically, Canadians can no longer purchase handguns. Might have even been firearms in general. I have to go back and look. Locking down whole cities during the height of the Chinese bioweapon. Mandating people get the stabby stab, jabby jab. The VAX. In order to work. Things of that nature. And it's sad because, excuse me, I didn't sleep well last night. There's a lot of good Canadians up there that would love to live free. And there's been a lot of them passing the message to Americans. This is what you get when you get a dictator. We're talking about their illustrious Trudeau. They're talking about how America's headed the same way if we don't change our policies and our politics. They're absolutely right. I've told y'all before, I've got no faith in the coming elections. That's me personally. I think we're so far gone. Next election is not going to matter as to who's voted in and who's not. But anyway, I digress. Well, folks, that's all I've got for this Friday. Keep your eyes open, your neck on a swivel, keep your ear to the ground. Watch out what's going on in your neighborhood. Stay vigilant at all times. Till then, my friends, this is Friendly Neighborhood Old Soldier.